Hey, it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio, and today we're taking a look at power chord embellishments. So, when I was first starting to play guitar, most of what I did was power chords, and that's what I love to do. But at a certain point, it gets sort of boring playing only the two-finger power chord going. That can reach a point where you want to start to add other things. And so the first way I explored this was not through other songs, but trying to experiment myself and figure out which notes worked with the power chord, right? So how could I alter the power chord to make it sound interesting? I had no clue what these things were called, and at that point I didn't know other people were doing this all over, so it's not like I invented this at all. I just was experimenting and figuring things out. But for example, if I'm playing the power chord, let's go for the 5th fret, string number 6, right? We'll start right there on the A note. So I'm playing the 5th fret, string 6, and the 7th fret, string number 5. So those two notes right there make a power chord, otherwise known as a 5th chord. Because our root note is A, we're going to call that an A5. So within that chord, we can start to add other fingers on top. Instead of playing the 7th fret here, this is a really common one. You hear that used a lot. So songs like Sweet Dreams or Crazy Train all use that kind of interval right there, right? Which is called a flat 6. So this power chord is a root and 5th of a major scale. Okay? So adding this note on top here gives us what we call a flat 6. Now in another way, it can be used as a different type of chord. So sometimes it's used as this being the root note. We're not going to look at that today. We're just going to alter this note. So we're going to make it a flat 6, like a root note and a flat 6. But this could be used where this is the root note, the higher note. And just quickly before I get into it, I'll show you an example. A lot of pop punk songs use this. They'll go from here, 5 and 7, to 4 and 7. And so this is doing basically an A major, or an A power, I should say A5, going to an E over G sharp. So it's like playing an E major chord. So in that instance there, we're using the chord where the high note is the root note. But I wanted to preface that because in today's lesson, we're not going to use it like that. So just in case you're wondering why I'm calling it a flat 6, you will see it called a flat 6 a lot online, but in a lot of instances when those pop punk bands are doing this, it's used as an inversion of a major chord. But we're going to use this today as an embellishment on that original root note, okay? So that's the way we're looking at it. Like the lowest note in this case here today is always the root note for what I'm going to show you. So with these power chords, we can add different notes on it. I'm going to show you the most common ones that I use. And we're just going to use the 6th string and the 5th string to demonstrate this. Okay, so our power chord is as 5 and 7. So we have 5th fret, string 6, 7 on string number 5. Okay, so that's our root 5th. So this is the power chord, an A5. Now we're going to add on the 8th fret on string number 5 instead of the 7th fret. So we can call that flat 6. So that embellishment there is the flat 6. We can also raise that and do a major 6. Now this is used in the blues a lot. Think of like, Johnny B. Good, that kind of stuff. So going from 7 to 9, which is a harder reach, it's definitely a bigger stretch, that gives us that sound you hear in a lot of blues tracks. But we can also use it in different ways. We can also use it in a blues context, right? So this here, flat 6, then we have a major 6, or otherwise known as a 6. So an A6, an A flat 6, A and a flat 6, I should say. It's not called a flat 6. All right, so A power chord and an A5 chord. We have an A chord with a flat 6. And then we have an A6. So that's the starting point. Now, we can also go down and just bar that 5th fret. So we have the 5th fret, string 6, 5th fret, string number 5. And that there, we can call that an A sus. But it's just two notes, so we don't have a full chord here. We're just given, implied names for these chords. But it's the root and the 4th. And other times it can be used as a higher root and the lower power chord. So like you could do a power chord riff. Thinking of the higher note is the root note, but today we're looking at this as the lower note being the root note and an embellishment on the A5 power chord. okay, just so you can hear those different sounds. Now we also could play the 6th fret on string 5. I'm not going to do it today. This is called a root and a flat 5th. We can call it a tritone. Pretty cool sound to play with. The example today I won't show that, but that's a really fun sound. It's part of a diminished chord, okay? So you can also look at that as a flat and 5th, a diminished 5th. A lot of fun, okay? So we had the major 6, flat 6, 5th, flat 5th, 4th, otherwise we're going to call that a sus chord. We can go down one more fret to the 4th fret. This is a major 3rd interval, okay? So A and C sharp, giving us our A major. So you can call it an A major chord, but we're not playing the 5th note in the chord. I look at this as a way to play an A major chord in power chord form. So, ton of fun there. If we lower that one more fret, we get what we call a flat 3rd. Okay, so it's otherwise known as an A minor chord. So a minor chord can be played or implied like this, whereas a major chord like that. Okay, so in these lower power chords and the lower strings, a 2 fret distance back from the root note is a minor, and a 1 fret is a major. So from this point here, we have minor, major, sus, diminished, power chord, otherwise known as 5th, a flat 6, and a major 6. Okay, and we won't go any further, but that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options, which is really cool. So 7 ways we can embellish that power chord. I guess one of those ways is the power chord, so 6 ways we can embellish. All right, so let's just dive right in and learn the piece that I showed at the beginning here, and hopefully you can take this and play with the piece that I wrote and use it to help understand how to utilize these embellishments. Okay, so I did this actually when I recorded this. I knew what I wanted to show you. Picked up a guitar, wrote something, thought it sounded great, recorded it, realized I was tuned down to E flat because I do play in E flat a lot. So I recorded it, did everything that way. And so instead of re-recording it, I thought, you know what, I'll just go back 1 fret down. I'm not going to make you tune your guitar. I'm just going to show you this. Instead of using A as our power chord, like I just showed you there, we're going to go back 1 fret because it sounds great in this key. I don't want to change a thing. So we're going to start off on the 4th fret, okay? So an A flat power chord. And we're going to play that 3 times. And then we're going to go back to the sus, the A flat sus, on the 4th fret. And after that 4th note, we're going to do a little pause. Okay, so we're going to, not pause, but we're going to hold that note an extra 8th note. So these are all 8th notes. We're going to hold that an extra 8th note before going back 3 times. Okay, so the rhythm for each different measure of this piece is all the same. I kept it nice and simple. All right, then we're going to go to the A flat minor right here. A flat and B, so 4 and 2. And then go back to the sus. So 1, 2, 3, 4, back to the A minor. And I should also note the very last time, like I'm saying, go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 more. But the very last one at the end, I'm usually transitioning, so you'll see my hands moving. I just take my fingers off and play an open string. I know it seems very, very crude, but it works. Okay, very lightly. Then we're going to go to F sharp, which is the 2nd fret, string number 6, and we're going to do an A sharp, which is a major. Okay, we're doing the major here. So A major, or sorry, F sharp major, and we're going to go to the 4th as well. Same rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to sneak down to the 6th fret on the A string. So this is an E flat major. So same thing here. We're going to use the 3rd interval, so major 3rd, 4th or sus, and then we're going to go to the power chord. So I use my pinky finger on the 8th fret of string number 6. Oh, string number 4, sorry. So that's E flat and B flat. So the main phrase here sounds like this. Second time around, we're going to start the same way. But we're going to go up to F sharp, so fret number 9 on the A string, and we're going to use a major third, okay? So 9 and 8. We're going to grab the pinky finger on the 11th fret of string 4, and then back down. So we're doing A major, I keep saying A, F sharp major. And we're going to go to the 11th fret, which is going to be our C sharp. So this is F sharp with a power chord here, so C sharp on top, bouncing from an A sharp to a C sharp. Then I'm going to go down 3 frets to E flat and do the same thing. We can call it D sharp. I guess I should call it D sharp. I'm calling it E flat, but we'll call it D sharp. That's the correct way to label this right now. So that's the second time through. Then back here. Up the top. All right, now the reason why, just to sort of get into that more, why I would call that sharp. Why should I call it sharp? So G sharp, F sharp, and so on, is because it's a minor chord and it's related to B major, okay? If I called it a flat, it's going to be related to the key of C flat, which I don't want to do right now. I don't want to get into the whole can of worms that the key of C flat can be by introducing the C flat note. So right now, as we go through it, the only thing that's going to be weird is going to be the correct name. If someone wants to get into this, the correct name of D sharp, right? And this note right here, we'd have D sharp, then you'd have to go to E sharp, and F double sharp. I know it seems a little weird. So if you want to be correct about that, this would be D sharp and F double sharp with an A sharp there. So just keep that in mind. It can get very confusing with all the theory here if you try to dig in too far. But really what we're looking for is the G sharp power chord. There we go. Proper name, F sharp power chord, D sharp power chord. So now you know the correct names. I should correct those at the beginning, okay? So the first 2 ways we have that through. We're just going to repeat that twice in a row. So that makes it pretty easy. We have the G sharp minor chord we're implying, the F sharp major, and the D sharp major, right? And as you get into it as well, you'll notice that the D sharp major, usually in a minor key, that's a minor chord, but that chord works perfectly well to go back to G sharp minor. That's a topic for another time when we dive into how that works. But just for anyone going through that and wondering how that works, in there we're borrowing from the major key, or we can also say we're taking from the harmonic minor scale, okay? So that same riff is played twice, and then we're going to dive into the final riff, which is going to go to an E, 7th fret string number 5, with the 9th fret string number 4, right? So E and B. And we're going to play up to our C sharp note, which is the 11th fret on string number 4. So a major third, come down to our D sharp. We're going to go to the 9th fret on string 4. Right? And then we're going to go down to string number 6, 4th fret. And we're going to go from 6 to 7, which is a flat 6 again. Okay, so on our E, D sharp, G sharp, minor. So this time through, we have a major 6, flat 6, flat 6 twice in a row. And then again, we're going to go up to here. Second time around, we're just going to finish it on our D sharp, okay? So there we go. So from the beginning of that part, go right back to the beginning. So let's take a listen to this. And for anyone who's looking at the theory I was talking about there, you have questions for me, please ask them in the comments below. And if you like what I'm showing you here, give me a like, thumbs up, as well as subscribing, because I have more videos like this coming out each week. And I'd like to have conversations about theory, anything you'd like to add in the comments. I'd love to hear that, okay? So let's take a look from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Second part. And at the end, I'm just sliding out from the, I'm trying to think of which fret, but 14th fret, string number 6. So it'll be the, back to our G sharp. You can slide out from anywhere, but I'm just trying to show which note I was sliding out from there. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson today. A lot of fun for me to make. It takes me right back to when I was first playing guitar, playing power chords and jamming out, making up my own songs. Hopefully you got something out of this. If there's any questions you have, like I said, ask them in the comments below. More than happy to answer and to clear up any issues with the theory there. So we had G sharp minor, F sharp, and D sharp, and the D sharp contained an F double sharp. There's the confusion. All right.